Hello again, my name is Violet and I'm a witch and I love to give psychic readings and tarot readings, and today I'm going to do a pick a card reading about angel numbers. You've probably been hearing about angel numbers or seeing them possibly, but angel numbers are just usually repeating numbers like 444, 1111, your birthday, a number that maybe seems unusual and that you may notice a lot, or when you notice it stands out to you. And you can look up the meaning of angel numbers, but they all have different meanings, and some people sort of contradict on what the meaning is. And for myself, I've found that angel numbers are really individual. Whenever you are noticing a number, there's a very specific message for you, and there's a reason you're seeing it. It could have to do with like a warning, it could be luck, it could be advice coming from somewhere, it could be coming from angels, it could be coming from your higher self, it could be coming from a past loved one. So what we're going to do today is I have 4 piles, and I'm going to pick 3 angel numbers, just like out of a jar that I have written down little angel numbers, and we'll see what your angel numbers are, and then I'll see what each angel number means for you. I might have the camera facing the cards because I'm not totally sure how I could show you the whole thing up here. So yeah, that's it basically. Just I'll show you some objects. I have 4 objects. So for pile 1, I have rose quartz. This is a rose quartz tower. For pile 2, I have malachite. This is a crystal malachite. I wonder if you can see it. I can't tell. Okay. Pile 3 is a clear quartz prism. This is a really cool one because it has like a shelf inside it or something. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a divide. I don't know. I'm not good at that. And then the last object is an obsidian orb. You can see my room in it. Gross. Terrifying. I feel doxxed. Okay, so choose like pile 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'll have the timestamps in the description and in the comment section, and let's get started. Hello for everyone who picked pile 1 for the rose quartz tower. Let's see what your angel numbers are. So what I have, let's see, I have my tarot cards. I'm going to choose, I have these numbers written down, and I'm going to pull 3 numbers, and then I'm going to pull cards describing what each number means for you, and then I'm also going to pull some extra information in this very old Target Halloween cup that's been used for painting. I don't know, I found it very recently actually in a cabinet. I've had this for like 8 years probably, but I'm going to pull a few extra bits of information, like where the message is coming from, what is the message, just get extra information. So let's see. I'm not gonna look, don't worry. Oop, one already fell. What are pile 1's angel numbers? 2, oops. Okay, 4 fell, so I guess I'll give you 4. Lucky, lucky you. Okay. Your first angel number is 1010. What was that? Wasn't there like a collect call 1010 220 or something? I don't remember. 1111 so new 1111 or like multiples of 1. Oh, 888. And your last angel number is 222. It's a popular, good one. I always like seeing 222. Okay, so 1010, 1111, 888, and 222 are your angel numbers. So you have, let's see, you have the energy of 6, because 8 times 3 is 24, and that breaks down to 6, and then 3 2s is 6. 2 and 4. Yeah, you have like all even numbers, except, I mean, there's odd numbers, but when they break down, 4, 2, 6, and 6. 6 is a really like harmonious number. So like if you were to look up angel number meanings, that's typically what they would say. They'd be like, oh, well, 6 represents like harmony, the 6th house in astrology, you know, kind of adding to that. But let's see specifically what each number means for you. So I'm going to pull out, I feel like I should do 2 for each number. 2 of these little like descriptors for each one, and I'm going to pull some tarot cards. We'll do them one at a time. Okay, so let's talk about number 222 first. Your angel number 222. Source. So this is a message coming from basically the universe, from everybody. Not everybody. It's a message coming from the universe. Whatever you consider to be like the highest, like, or whatever you consider to be where energy comes from. So that could be God, it could be a specific God, it could just be the universe, it could just be like this, like it's nobody or nothing, but it's just this like whatever supplies the energy. So this is coming from like a deep well of information. Like when you're getting a message 222, it's coming from, I don't know, like a higher place. Like it means that it does have like a bigger spiritual meaning for you. It's a very spiritual number. Oh, and then you also got above. So this is definitely, when you see 222, for you that means that there is some type of like spiritual message coming through, that this is a message coming from angelic beings, that it could be coming from just spirits in the astral realm. This could have to do with like, it's like higher vibration. So it would be something that like you would notice that sort of like alleviates you out of a situation. Like you have this awareness of something, like maybe you're in a situation and someone is upset about something, and then let's say you see the number 222. That could be a like a call for you to like think above the situation, to step out of the situation you're in and see your situation on its own. That's something I've sort of been practicing, because there's this YouTube channel where this guy tries psychedelics, and he's taken like shrooms and acid every day for like 1,000,000 years or something. But he talked about like standing outside of himself and having that advantage of like looking at his life outside. Like when you step outside of yourself, you're sort of stepping out the emotional charge of a situation, and you can see it in a more unbiased, neutral way. So let's say you're in a disagreement with someone, and you're getting upset about the way they're acting, and you are thinking like of what you want to say, or like something mean you want to do, or like maybe how you want to retaliate. That number 222 would be something to show up, and it would say, hey, like pause, like step out of this situation, and like what is the bigger picture. So something to help you look at the bigger picture. You could struggle with like being very like specific about things, like tunnel vision, and this could be like, it's sort of, you know, we're all in this together. Like it's like see things, yeah, as from a bigger perspective. Notice that like everyone is connected, that what you're putting into something is what you're getting back. Let's see if there's something else like more specific about that message. Is there anything else about number 222? The World, 7 of Swords in reverse, and 6 swords. Yeah, that's actually, I think, exactly what I was saying. So the 7 of Swords in reverse is about being direct. It's about, because 7 of Swords upright is about like hiding. It's about selfish behavior. It can be about trying to like take advantage. It's like, it's much more of like a selfish, like, how can I get what I want? What is best for me? when the Seven of Swords is in reverse, it's about like, I don't know, like stepping away from like, honestly, like the Seven of Swords is like a theft card. So when it's in reverse, it's saying like you're going on a like straighter path. It's about not putting your ego in front of other people's needs. With the World, literally this is like a larger perspective, looking back and seeing the world. Like she's like there, this is like essentially the universe, like she's here in this circle, being able to like be above everything. Mercury in retrograde is really messing up the way I speak. I'm gonna blame that. There's nothing else wrong with me ever. I don't have any problems. It's only Mercury in retrograde, but I feel like I'm falling over my words a lot. It's really annoying. But this is someone who is like above the situation. She can see all sides and is taking, like kind of stepping back and seeing everything from a different perspective. There's all these different perspectives around her. And then the Six of Swords is like moving on to something. It's like choosing to take a more peaceful approach, choosing to like step away from like any type of like closed-minded behavior. So when you see 222, that is a reminder for you to maybe sort of step out of what you're doing. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means like, hey, let's look at this maybe from a different perspective. Or in a different example would be if you're out and about and you're having a thought about something, you are starting to daydream about something you really want, or I don't know, you just, if you're having some type of thought about maybe your spirituality or your future, whatever your thinking is, if you see the number 222, think about, like, take a moment and be like, okay, what was I just thinking about? Because the universe wants you to pay attention to that thought. So let's say like you're thinking like, oh my God, I'm so fucking stupid and I just like messed that up, and like, remember this stupid thing I did, and you see the number 222. The universe is like, let's look at this from a different perspective. You know, think about the fact that you're saying this to yourself. Or let's say that you're like thinking like, you know what, I really want to start meditating and like I haven't like taken it seriously before. You see the number 222. The universe is like, hey, let's look at that. Like, is that something you want to explore? Like, is that something that is like, or the universe could be like, yeah, that is something that's part of the bigger picture. So that's 222. This is gonna be a long reading. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay, so number 888. This means wait. The word wait. W-A-I-T. Oh, you got 3. Lucky. I don't want to show you my handwriting, but I will. And awaken. So if you see the number 888, I'm going to get some tarot cards because I have 2 conflicting messages. Okay, so wait, awaken, lucky. The first message is definitely to pause, because 888 is going to symbolize something in the bigger picture, something happening more so out of your control. If you're going through a situation like that, what is happening? Like, I feel like you would see 888 when you're feeling a lot of stress, because we have the Tower came out first. And then we had the 4 of Pentacles and the Fool. Essentially, this message is saying like a foundation's getting destroyed, rebuilding a new foundation and taking a leap of faith. So waiting, like there could be chaos going on around you, or you could be in a situation where you want to act, you want to do something. Wait, because there's something you're going to awaken to. There's some type of realization you're going to have about that situation, and it's going to be a lucky turn of events. So if you have like a tendency to just like jump into things and just quickly do stuff, or to like when you have anxiety, you want to quickly just make a decision and do something. Or like if someone approaches you, let's say like you get a message from someone, they ask you to do something that you don't want to do, like go out and hang out or something, like, I don't know, something that maybe you don't feel comfortable saying no to, but it puts you in a state of anxiety. The message would be like just to wait, take a moment to pay attention to the situation, and then see that maybe there is like a lucky opportunity here, or see that like there is opportunity in some way, because you could be acting too fast whenever something like unusual happens. You could be just sort of jumping into something because you don't want to sit in those uncomfortable feelings. And so this message is saying like, it's best for you to not act in that moment. It's best for you to hold off. And like, I would say that typically when I see an angel number, I think about what was I just thinking about? Like we talked about in 222. Like, what was I just thinking about? Because that is sort of like the universe is in line with your thoughts, and that is the reality you're building, is the things you're thinking about and things you're putting energy into. So if you're thinking about maybe like a stressful situation, or like, should I take this leap of faith? I feel like it would be when you're deciding something. If you happen to see that number at some point, then take a look at like what's going on in your life and be like, am I sort of like jumping the gun? Am I like hurriedly trying to make decisions to alleviate, sorry, my foot hit the camera, alleviate anxiety? Because the tarot is saying you could be like jumping too quickly when you should be waiting things out and seeing like what opportunity is there actually for here. Like maybe you don't need to rush and just make a decision. Maybe you need to wait and open up your mind a little bit more to what's happening and see that like there could be benefit from it. So 1111, you have hope and break free. That's wonderful. That's really, really nice. So if you see 1111, it is giving you hope and is telling you to break free of something. So whenever you see the numbers 1111, think, or I would say any like 111, if you see 3 ones, if you see 11, just like repeated ones, I think would be something to pay attention to. That is meant to be like a message of hope. Definitely like pay attention to your thoughts, I would say, because it feels like a lot of these angel numbers for you could have to do with like breaking you out of limited thinking, like trying to give you other options. Tell me more. 2 of Cups in reverse. And 9 of Cups in reverse. Yeah. So in particular, you may be feeling like hopeless. You could feel like you've lost out on a connection with someone, that you don't have opportunity for love, that a business contract isn't going to be possible, something that you want to do in terms of like connecting to other people and also like reaching a goal. Like if you really want to get married, or you really want a long-term partner, or you really want to have a family, or you really want to get signed with a specific company or contract. 1111 is a message to like pay attention to your thoughts, like pay attention, like is that what you're thinking about a lot, is how something isn't possible for you, because 1111 is reminding you like, hey, like you need to break free from limiting thoughts. Like you can break out of the situation you're in. There is hope. So if you are feeling hopeless, if you're feeling ostracized or like cut out of social groups, it's just saying like, hey, there's hope. Like this isn't everything there is. Push to break yourself out of routine and out of your comfort zone. Push yourself to explore other options and like find hope in things, to watch like the repetition you have, because also when we have reversals, we can have sort of doing something over and over again, like approaching a situation the same way over and over instead of trying to do something new. Like Also, this could have to do with like being in a long-term toxic situation with like friends or family, or something that started off as a wish fulfillment has run its course and isn't a happy thing anymore. Sorry, that's really important for me to do. So yeah, I feel like 1111 is just advice to keep positive, or at least pay attention at that moment. Like when you see 1111, just know there's still hope. Know that there's hope for your situation. Know that like you aren't hopeless, that there is change, and that maybe like to look around and be like, is there something that like I'm really holding on to that is keeping me from feeling better, from progressing? Am I like repeating old patterns that are harmful and not stepping out of this this pattern? If I like, are my behaviors making me feel hopeless? Am I believing that there are no options for me? Am I believing that I'm a victim of my circumstances, and that there are no choices I can make that will change my situation or help me feel better? So that is like, it's an encouragement to step out of limiting thoughts, which is similar to a lot of your other messages. So the numbers 10, 10, Ghost, and Psychic Update. Ooh, this is really good. Those pair so good together. All right, that's awesome. When you see 10, 10, you are getting a Psychic Update, and it is a message from a spirit. So if you see the numbers 10, 10, oh, that's so interesting. Okay, because I was starting to shuffle, and I got the Moon in reverse and the 8 of Cups. Okay, what is this Psychic Update about? So you have like dampened some of your psychic gifts, which is understandable. Whenever like you are developing your psychic gifts, they can get really overwhelming. Like, just an example, like one of my growths I'm going through, like one of my psychic developments is ringing in my ears. Like whenever I'm around a spirit or I'm giving a certain message, I'll get like a really high-pitched ringing in my ears. I don't know of anything else it's related to. And it can be frustrating and annoying, or like building, like realizing my sensitivity to people's emotions and things. It has been really difficult because sometimes like it would just plague me. Like all I could think about were other people, and all I could feel were other people, and I couldn't identify with myself. Like your psychic gifts developing can be overwhelming because it's something that you don't really know how to operate yet, or like how to control it, how to like change the intensity, how to give yourself a break. So you've probably like dampened some of your gifts, which is normal. And this is something encouraging you to update. Like this is a notice that like you are updating yourself. Like that, in terms of an update, it is almost like a computer system. It's like your psychic system is trying to update itself. And in terms of it being related to ghost, it could be like that you do have mediumship abilities, and that there is a spirit around you. And when you see 1010, it's just to remind you like there's a spirit, and like, or it could be just a reminder that like, hey, if you think you are having mediumship experiences, if you think you are talking to spirits, then that is a confirmation. Like if you see 1010, it's confirming like, yeah, this is something that is happening for you. And I hope that doesn't scare you. Like, oh, if you see 1010, there's a ghost around. I mean, ghosts are fucking everywhere. I'm sorry. Like ghosts are literally everywhere all the time. Like, I mean, it's just like they usually don't really do anything to bug you, and like most of us don't even pay attention when they're around, and sometimes they don't come around you at all depending on your vibe. But this is like a message from the spirit side. Now, is there a message that they like, is a ghost trying to tell you something in particular, like one ghost? Four of Pentacles in reverse. They definitely want you to be more open-minded, which a lot of this reading has been about. Yeah, 1010 is like, it's sort of encouraging you to look at maybe the spirit world in a different way. I think it's I don't know, because we have the Knight of Cups here, the Ten of Swords in reverse, and the King of Swords. The Four of Pentacles is in reverse. So there are some old beliefs you have about the spirit world or ghosts that maybe you should let go of, like being afraid of them, which is really hard to work through, I understand. I used to be terrified of spirits and ghosts, and like now I just talk to them like literally all day, and it's not a big deal. Actually, I like probably enjoy talking to spirits more than a lot of people, because they are really respectful of boundaries. So yeah, maybe like this has to do with you like reframing some beliefs you have about the spirit world. Maybe if you don't believe in ghosts at all, this is encouraging you to maybe just like explore that idea further. You don't have to change your beliefs, but maybe look into what the symbolism of ghosts can mean for you. We also have the Eight of Cups, and ghost is something like from the past, you know, and the Eight of Cups is leaving something behind, and the Moon in reverse is like having not having a handle on psychic thoughts or like on your thoughts. So I think that this is telling you like your body and your mind are trying to update psychically. You're trying to like become more in tune to the spirit world, or like acknowledge the awareness you already have of it that you're blocking out, and that it's time to sort of step away of the fear of those things. Like they aren't going to touch you or appear to you or anything. Like all you have to do is be like, hey, I don't want to see you, like don't talk to me, but I acknowledge you're around. Or like you set the boundaries. Like literally you just speaking out loud has such like an intense force in the spirit world, because you're in a physical body. Like like people are like, oh, it's so scary, like a ghost like just, you know, open my cabinet door. Like, yeah, it's scary to see that shit, like, and you don't know what's doing it. But like I can literally like take a chainsaw through the wall. Like I'm human, like I'm in a physical body on earth, and spirits do not have that. So there is the power that they have in terms of like going in between places easily, but like I can do that in my physical body. Like I can leave my physical body and travel, and I can still have a physical body and move physical mass, which is something like spirits and ghosts cannot do. So like you will always be more powerful in those situations, and accepting that you have more power and also being respectful and having boundaries is something that will really benefit you. So I think like if you're afraid of spirits and ghosts, like it's time just to like let that fear go. And like I'll have to like maybe make a video talking about it, because it is hard to do. I used to shake all the time, like it was really scary. But this is sort of encouraging you to have maybe a more like compassionate look at this, like with the Knight of Cups, maybe to see spirits more as like actual people who've passed, to have more empathy for them. Even if you don't like relate to the empathy part, like just to see that like in terms of right and wrong, like is this ghost actually doing anything wrong? Like is there any reason for me to be angry or afraid of this ghost who possibly is just trapped or like scared or having its own issues, you know? The Ten of Swords is definitely like encouraging you to let go of overwhelming fears, or like I think it's also encouraging you to like release like if you have a really negative view of the afterlife, this is really encouraging you to look at it in a more positive way, to really like imagine or become more open to other possibilities in the spirit world, to like explore maybe what would you see as heaven? Like, do you believe in reincarnation? Are you like really afraid of hell and things like that? Is that something that's really getting hold of you? And then there's also the advice with the King of Swords. This is really interesting actually, because first of all, this is saying you have really, really good clarity when it comes to spirits. You would be able to hear them and communicate with them easily, because the King of Swords is like in charge of communication, and this is like air energy, so this is like spirit energy. And also maybe to like step out of like the emotional response you could have, and to see things in a more almost like simplistic way. I don't know how that would be helpful necessarily, but with the King of Swords, it's saying like maybe don't get so caught up, like have like a more curious approach, like approach with more curiosity and more confidence, and to have confidence in what you're hearing and experiencing. Also, what was I going to say about the King of Swords? I mean, this would be like you have the ability to master it in a way where this could be just like a normal part of your life where you're able to sense spirits and maybe get little glimpses of them or hear things from them, or there's a curiosity you have about the world, the spirit world, or graves, or something that you should start exploring. If somehow literally none of that makes any sense to you or relates to you, then at the very least the message is like you are trying to evolve past some type of like old pain and fear or trauma, something that's like a ghost to you, something that is hard to face from your past, and your body is updating itself. So I would say, like, if you see 1010, maybe just take a moment and just breathe and just be like, okay, like I accept this update. I accept what's happening. Like, maybe notice, like, am I resisting? Like, do I have this feeling of resistance? And just sort of just be like, you know what? I'm chill with like sort of whatever's happening and whatever is being developed. I'm open to possibilities. A lot of your messages are about like stepping out of maybe like a more closed off mindset, stepping out of fear, breaking out of things, having hope, waiting because something beneficial is happening, maybe before you like jump to like a really negative conclusion. Definitely you have two messages coming from spirits. So you have source with 222. So that means your message is coming from like a higher psychic realm. It could be coming from like God, if you believe in God. It could be coming from the angels. It could be coming from heaven, something like above, like something that is, I don't know, the way I always see it is like this big brain we're all attached to. And that to me is source. It's like this brain are all like little nasty little tentacles off its brain. It's beautiful. And then, yeah, with 1010, you're getting messages from most likely like spirits of people who've died. Or maybe in particular, like if there's a past loved one, you can see that as a message from them. And that they're encouraging you to like allow your gift to flourish so that you can communicate with them or see them more. But that's something you're entirely in control of course. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but at the very least, working through like fears you may have related to ghosts, like, you know, I'm sure there's still stuff that happens that scares me, and I deal with ghosts like all the time. So it's okay to like be afraid of things, but don't have a fear of ghosts to the point where you won't explore your spiritual side, because that's not all that there is. Like, I even had to pretend like that stuff wasn't real for a while. I was like, I just straight up don't believe in it, because, and if you don't believe in something, it won't be a reality to you. Like, it can still happen, of course, but it's like less likely. I don't know, I don't know, I was just like, pay attention to ghosts, and I'm like, pretend like they're not real. I don't know, conflicting advice, but this is just encouraging you to somehow get through that, like, if you have a fear of the spiritual side, then to like let go of these things that are causing fear. So I hope that helped. I hope that made sense for you. I hope you really enjoyed it. And if you want a personal reading, I sell readings, and I'm on Instagram, and I sell like shirts and art and pens and stuff. So I have everything in my description. But yeah, have a wonderful night, and watch out for those angel numbers. And if you've ever seen them already, or if you have a different angel number, let me know, because I like to know what it means for you in particular. All right, bye. Hello, pile 2. So if you chose the crystal malachite, let's see what your angel numbers are. So I'm gonna try and pull 3. I just have them like, you know, you get it. Okay, there's 1. Second one. Oh, we got 3. Okay. Your first angel number. 333. 3 3s. Your second angel number is 1234. And your last one is 444. That's not bad. So everything between, I don't know. That's not too bad. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Okay. So I have these are part of like the description of maybe where these messages are coming from or what they mean. So let's get some messages for number 333. I'm going to get 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 4, 4. Okay, so let's talk about 3, 3, 3. Healing and warning sign. Okay. 3, 3, 3 is healing and warning sign. I was thinking of that Talking Heads song. That's like my favorite Talking Heads song, warning sign. So, seeing 3, 3, 3, okay, in terms of like being a warning, I don't want you to be like, oh my God, something's gonna happen right now. That's not what it means. What it means is that you need to pay attention to something that's happening around you, or you need to pay attention to the thought you're having. You should be seeing 3, 3, 3 in a moment that's like very coincidental. Like if you see 3, 3, 3 whenever you are feeling like a really strong emotion, I'd say especially like, I would feel like it would happen more with anger mostly. It could also say that maybe the situation is going to be a bit more difficult than you think. Let's get some more information about that. What does number 3, 3, 3 mean for group 2? The Queen of Swords, Seven of Cups in reverse, the Page of Cups. Yeah, so 3, 3, 3 could pop up when you need to take a more like critical eye to something. With the Seven of Cups in reverse, this could have to do with like having too many thoughts, like having overwhelming thoughts. And then the Queen of Swords would be someone who, I don't know, this, okay, so immediately what I'm feeling is like, this means you're like suppressing your feelings and it's getting to the point where it's going to boil. Like if you're seeing 3, 3, 3, it could mean that like there's some type of healing that you are suppressing or avoiding, because it's like the disconnect between the Queen of Swords and the Page of Cups. Like the Page of Cups is a young, emotional, creative, really expressive, communicative sign, and the Queen of Swords is communicative, but she's a lot more intense and mature and cutthroat. And then the Seven of Cups is this confusion in between. I also feel like maybe this has to do with something from your childhood. Let's see. Strength. Queen of Pentacles. You could be trying to heal something related to your mom, or a like really, if you had like a really dominant female energy, like a teacher, or like I'm seeing almost like a mean nun in like a Catholic school or something. I feel like you may be at risk for like repeating something. Okay, this could be a difficult message. So just like, I'm not saying anything mean about you, I promise. I'm saying that like, this is something that like I do and like everyone does. And it's just something that you need to be aware of. 3, 3, 3 is going to be like, hey, like, pay attention, look around. I think there could be an issue here with like possibly hurting people because you're hurt. There could be an issue with like someone from your past who let you down, maybe probably a female figure, so like a mother or an aunt or someone who was supposed to be taking care of you, a foster mother, a grandmother that you were left with. I'm seeing like an alcoholic aunt, like, yeah, like a really strict Sunday school teacher or like a strict teacher, someone who like didn't have faith or hope in you, someone who they didn't give you like courage when you needed it, or like they made you feel afraid. There could be some unhealed wounding related to this, and whether you're meaning to, like, I highly doubt you're directly trying to be mean to people and hurt them because of something that happened to you. I don't think many people do that consciously. A lot of times we enact things and do things out of like like we're not paying attention. We don't know. Like, we're not paying attention to how badly something's hurt us. And since we haven't healed that, we're sort of acting in like we may be carrying on a certain behavior and causing pain for other people. So let's say like your mom always snapped at you about something, like there was a certain habit you had, or like, I don't know, let's say like every time I'm just seeing like maybe every time you picked up something, you're used to your mom like snapping at you about it, or like smacking it out of your hand or something. And now you have this sort of like defensiveness around a certain emotion or like topic, and you feel maybe triggered by things, and instead of like working through that, you're sort of shutting yourself off from other people. So if maybe someone is like, hey, like, let's go on a picnic, like me and you, let's go to the park, and you have this trigger of like remembering the time that your family took KFC to a park because your mom wanted family time and your dad was high, and the KFC sucked, and you were in a town you didn't know, and it was raining and no one spoke, and you're like, no, I'm cool, I don't want to hang out. And you're sort of like acting out toward that person in a way based on an unhealed like wound. That happened to me with my family. Like, it was a really weird, uncomfortable thing. Like, I don't know, I felt really weird about eating outside for a long time because I just thought about like that horrible picnic we had with my family. So it's 333 is really trying to say like, hey, there may be like a feeling of resistance coming up in you because there's something you're avoiding healing, or you may be acting in that moment out of a place that isn't from like your highest self, is coming from a more wounded place. Also 333 is 9, like breaks down to 9, and 9 is about the ending or like completion of a cycle. So I feel like this is trying to say like you're pushing through to like heal a cycle or to end something, and this is sort of like something that you need to pay attention to. And I guess, I don't know, just in general, if that number pops up, maybe just check in with yourself and check in on your emotions. See if like there's something that you've been avoiding that came up in your mind that's uncomfortable, that you haven't digested yet. Like you had a bad dream about someone, and you've just been trying to ignore it, but it's still in the back of your mind, and you maybe need to take some time to like write it out, or just like process what the information was. Okay, that was like a long time to talk about one number. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what that means. We have anxiety. Oh, I'm sorry, dudes. It's okay. Underneath, yeah, okay. This is very similar to 333. This is about a suppressed emotion that is trying to come out, and that you're having a baseline of anxiety. So you may be feeling like a lot more stressed, or like in general, you could just be like, I never get to fucking relax. No, even when I'm alone, I'm not relaxing. I'm like that. Like I'm constantly just like, oh, like what's gonna happen next? Like, I'm not chill. Like I don't chill out. Like it doesn't matter if I spend 12 hours sitting in my bed watching TV, I'm still like white knuckling the whole time and not enjoying or taking in any information. Like, so this is saying that there's like, it sounds like there's like an undercurrent of anxiety you're having, and you may just be accepting it as like the stress of life, but you need to start paying attention to it. You need to start paying attention because it feels like something's bubbling out, or something could bubble out. And I've had a few events where I suppressed something for a really long time, and then it just bubbled out, and it's pretty intense. Like, not to scare you because it's different for everybody, but like it is like you boil over, you know, like you could get really upset and start crying. Something that happened to me, like, not to scare anyone, but just this is what this relates to for me, was like whenever I a few years ago, like I ended like a really long relationship, and then I immediately got into another relationship, and then that one ended, and it was like horrible, and these two endings like built up on each other, and my whole life changed, and everything felt just horrible and agonizing. And I didn't deal with those feelings. I just kept pressing them down, and I dealt with it by trying to keep dating and like find another relationship. And I ended up like going on a date with someone I like didn't connect to. I was just like, oh, just put myself out there, like blah blah blah. No, that doesn't like work for me. Like I have to like be sure I actually want to do something, or I'm just gonna like lay down and die. Like, I can't be forced to do stuff I don't want to do. So like went on a date and like gave someone a chance, I guess, or like he gave me a chance too, like no offense to that person. And I just like was not ready. I was not ready to be like hanging out with someone alone. I wasn't ready to be like talking to a new guy. It didn't matter. Like, I was not ready. And I had like a fucking panic attack and like had to like lie to him to get him to leave. And he ended up getting angry at me and like yelled at me. It was really horrible. But I suppressed the pain I was feeling for so long that it ended up just blowing out in like a really inconvenient time. And I got warnings. I got warnings spiritually. I had warnings in my dreams that it was going to happen. And I just kept pretending like it wasn't going to happen, and like I was fine, and like I just needed to push through it and stay positive. And it's like, no, I really needed to like grieve and like be horribly mad and upset and like feel really bad. And it made healing harder, I feel like, because instead of dealing with it in pieces, I got dumped with the realization all at once, instead of like taking time to be like, okay, I really don't feel good, and like I'm running away from my feelings, and taking it in doses and like learning to sit with that feeling and give myself time to express it so that it could be like, you know, under control better. So I would give myself time to let that feeling out and then give myself time to recuperate and self-care. Instead, it was just like this huge bomb got dropped on me, and I just felt all the pain and horribleness from like years, and all the agony over like all of these relationships and friendships and all of these like pains from really far back. So I do feel like there is a message to you that is like, hey, you could be like pushing yourself. You may need to take some time and really just like be realistic about how you feel about things. And that I would say too, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, that you need to like check in with yourself. Like, you know how you see those memes, like when it's like stop scrolling. It's not a meme, but it's like unclench your jaw, like drop your shoulders. Like, it's like a check to be like, how, like, are you tensing yourself up? Like, are you creating more like anxiety and stress for yourself? So 1, 2, 3, 4, if you see that, it's a good time for you to be like, okay, like, am I just like literally on the brink of about to scream? Like, maybe I should take a moment to breathe, or like distract myself for a moment. Maybe I need to like take a break from screen time and like close my eyes for a few moments, take a breath, or just notice, be like, okay, I'm gonna accept right now, like I'm really pissed off. Just like accept it, accept the truth that like you're not okay, you're mad about something, or you feel scared. That's just the way it is, and it feels horrible, and I hate my feelings, and if I could just throw them into outer space, I would. Anyway, so 444, your last angel number. Let's see what it means for you. Everything working out and not what it seems. This is a really good way to end. Oh my God. Okay, so 444 is considered like, to me, it's like the angel number. For some reason, it's just like, I think traditionally, like when you Google 444, it typically means like this is directly from the angels. It means like your angels are near you, or like you have support. And that's exactly what it says for you. It means like everything is working out. That, you know what, all you need to be responsible for right now is healing your own pain. Anytime you see any of these angel numbers, if you see 333, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 444, take that into account. Be like, you know what, all I really need to do right now is just like take care of myself. Like, am I grinding my teeth? Do I have a headache? Like, have I been holding in my pee for hours? Like, do I need to like eat? Like, have I been like taking care of everyone all day and I haven't had a moment to myself? Like, you know, do I need to take a breath, take a breather? You know, there's like, this is really like, these numbers are really for you to like check in, to check yourself. And then 444 is there just to be like, hey, like, you can't see everything that's happening around you, and like, because everything really is okay. This is something that's coming in to try and tell you like there is a bigger picture, and that there are forces of the universe, other people's will, spirits, just the natural order of the universe and the chaos of things. There are all kinds of things happening that like you can't see, you don't know about, you will never know about. And they are all just happening around you. Every day the world exists, and you don't have to be there making sure it does. Every day, you know, the sun rises. Every day the world rotates. Every day the tides come into shore. I don't know. I don't go to the beach very frequently. I'm not sure what the water does out there. But every day the world exists, and you don't have to be there to hold it so tightly and make sure that it's going to do what's right and that everything is going to be okay. There are things happening, and they're happening for you. There are things going on there that you don't know about. There are people saying kind things about you. There are people wishing you well. There are people who see your picture and it makes them smile. There are people who are telling a funny story that you told them to one of their friends. There are people who are remembering a time you did something to help them. There are things happening all the time that you don't know about, and they're better than maybe you could ever perceive. There are really good things. There are angels, there are spirits, there are past loved ones who love you and who care about you and purposely want you to succeed, even if you can't see them or hear them, or if they're gone. So this is just, all of this is a reminder for you to just know that like things are okay, and like all the responsibility you need right now, like you could be looking out a lot for like, where is that inspiration? Like where's my breakthrough? Where's like the love of my life? When are all these things going to happen? Where's my dream job? Like I'm so sick of living in an eternal hell. And this is just a reminder that it's like, hey, just work on your own stuff. Really, if you want to work on changing something, work on changing like your response to certain triggers, or realizing you have triggers, becoming clear about what is your personal like internal dictionary for like yourself. Like what do certain things mean to you? Like what do people in your family mean to you? Getting clear about how you perceive the world, and maybe some aches and pain and anxiety that you have, and checking in with yourself throughout the day to regulate your anxiety and to step out of as much as you can, to step away from those situations. Like even like when I was first in therapy when I was like 18, my therapist would talk to me about another girl she knew. Like, you know, hypothetically she was talking about a client, but you know, we weren't like breaking any special codes, but she would talk to me about a girl she had worked with who, because I would talk a lot about like, oh my God, I just feel like so trapped, and like it's this horrible anxiety I can't relieve from. When I feel trapped, it's like endless and so terrifying. And she talked about how this girl worked in a factory, and the job was really, really hard, and like she didn't really get along with any of her coworkers. She wasn't in the same age group as them. They had nothing in common, and a lot of them had beliefs that like rubbed her the wrong way or were harmful to her. And so she didn't really have a lot of options. She worked a lot. She didn't have a lot of breaks. It was really intense work. She had to be around these people. And so she had a system set up where when she was in the bathroom, in the stall, she had like a little series of like stretches she would do, and like breaths, and like some bilateral like tapping and movements and stuff. And it was enough for her to like get back in her body and be like, you know what, like the bigger picture is like, this is just a job. This is only gonna last a little while. I'm getting money. I don't have to like, you know, it made it not be so serious and intense. And even though she really didn't have any options in terms of dealing with that job, she still found a way to take power back by at least caring for herself and looking into herself and managing herself, and finding those little avenues that she could have control, finding those little things that gave her a sense of peace that didn't have to do with other people. So I hope those messages help you. Also, Malachite is about like removing toxicity, and it reflects the evil eye. I have a Nazar, I think they're called Nazars up there for the evil eye. So that's something you may want to get Malachite. I'm also wearing a Malachite necklace. So green could be good for you, like healing your heart chakra and things like that. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope it was helpful. Please let me know what your thoughts are about this. If you have anything you'd like to share, I'd love to hear it or read it. And I give personal readings, and I sell art and pens and like other stuff, and I'm on Instagram. So everything's in the bio if you want to keep up with me. Bye. Hello, everybody who picked pile 3. If you picked this quartz pyramid, let's do your reading. So I'm going to pick 3 angel numbers for you. I just have them like folded up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I'm going to pick some descriptive things, like maybe what this means, or where the information is coming from for you. And then if we need more information, I'll do some tarot. I didn't do it as much in the last one, but I did some in the first, so we will see. Okay, what is your first angel number? I got them all mixed up now. 999. It's your first one. Sorry, I burped. Ooh, 666 is your second one. Don't worry. First of all, you don't have to be afraid of the devil. He doesn't give a shit about you. Like, don't worry. It's fine. Devil's not going to hurt you. And also, it has other important meanings. It's just a number. Where's your third one? 555. Oh, interesting. So you have 555, 666, 999. 69. Okay. So let's talk about 999 first. The messages you have are lesson and attack. Those are what that means. Let's see what that is talking about. Lesson and attack. Oh, I just shuffled them mostly upside down, which I wasn't meaning to do, but what does this mean? Let's pile 3. 999. What does that mean? My cap. 4 of Swords in reverse. King of Swords in reverse. Queen of Cups in reverse. You can clarify. Are these all upside down? Okay, never mind. That's. Don't worry, everyone. You'll get your reading. Tell me about 999. 6 of Cups and the Knight of Swords. Oh my god, my cat. She found some lint. She's trying to get under the door. Strength and the Queen of Pentacles. I have to clarify these, because this feels like a very specific message. If you are dealing with a certain person mostly. Okay, you go here, you go here, you go here. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing, but you know what? There's just not a millionaire, you know. Okay, 6 of Cups, the Knight of Swords in reverse. So you have the Knight of Swords twice. Okay, this definitely does have to do with some type of, like, someone getting in your way. And I also don't feel like, I mean, you can see like $19.99 and stuff, like in prices, like if something's $9.99, you can see it a lot. Let me try to get this message, because I don't want to give like a fear tactic message, you know, a fearful message. You probably have already had to deal with someone who's been really aggressive to you. You could be dealing with someone from your past, or there's some type of like, okay, this might be, you could be dealing with like an unhealed trauma that has to do with being hurt in your childhood. Something may have actually happened where you were attacked by somebody or an animal. Somehow maybe you feel like somebody had control over you in some way, and it looks like also maybe someone let you down. What the message really looks like to me is like you were in a disadvantageous disadvantageous situation as a kid, or relating to your family. And it may have been something you experienced as a child where you had a person near your family, or your family, like it could have been like a neighbor kid or something, and you had to deal with a really toxic environment that you were stuck in. I wonder why lesson is there. The Queen of Pentacles with the Nine of Wands in reverse. So that's sort of dropping. I feel like you are learning how to like surpass an abusive event you were in. I feel like someone did take some action of violence towards you, and you may be afraid that you are going to repeat that cycle, or be afraid of being that person. Or you may still be afraid of that person in some way. But the message here is that you have like, it looks like you've already gotten through this in some way. Like you've already pushed past the uncomfortable feelings related to this, or this happened a long time ago. And it could be something that's like sneaking up on you, or like someone, I don't know, there's a worry of someone having like unsavory intentions towards you. Because I don't feel like this would be a message where it's like, if you see 999, you better watch out because someone's about to get you. I don't believe that or see that. What it really looks like is like there's something from your past where someone maybe like started a rumor about you, or said something very like biting and mean to you. And somehow you've learned how, like, you've sort of surpassed this bully in some way. Somehow you, like, through age or time, or through like educating yourself, or just by choosing to be a better person, you've like surpassed this bully, and you could essentially like take them in some way. Like it looks like you have a lot that you can be proud of, and maybe you need to be aware of like the level of strength you actually do have, like that you aren't truly in a disadvantageous situation anymore. Like you're able to take battles now whenever things do come in. And I feel like maybe there is like the message here is to reflect on the strength you have, because you got through something really painful. This could have been like, it looks like some type of unit like totally got dissolved. Like it could have been like your family splitting apart, or like a sibling passing away, or like getting taken out of your home. Something really destructive, maybe where like the police came in and broke up your family. Or like something related to the government. Somehow like you were put in a, I keep saying disadvantageous situation as a kid, or in your youth, or with your family, or like a while ago. And now you are in a situation where you have power, and the message is sort of saying like, I don't know. I don't think there is a message for you to not do something. I feel like maybe this is a reminder that you've gotten through some really difficult things, and maybe you need to be aware of that. Like maybe you do need to see how powerful you are, and it may be time for you to drop some burdens you've had related to, like, if you've been trying to, I don't know, because it looks like to me someone who, you may be putting a lot of pressure on yourself to like work super, super hard because of your situation, because things were so difficult before. Like you've worked really hard to put yourself in an advantageous situation, like to build yourself up so you won't be put in that situation again. And I really feel like the message is that you won't be in that situation again, that like you're protected, and that thing that happened was in your past, and that was like a time of your life that's over now, that is ended, and now like you have like taken like the lessons you could take. And like, I don't mean to say that like if someone hurt you that you needed to learn a lesson. I just mean that like I feel like you've been able to stand out of your situation and have a lot of insight about it, and to maybe even be able to see like where the other person was coming from, like why they hurt you, why they did that thing, because they were hurt, or because like I keep seeing like a neighborhood boy. And like maybe there was a neighborhood boy who did something really mean to you, like bullied you or hurt you in some way, and you like were a lot younger than them, and now you've grown up, and like you maybe don't even know where that person is now, but they're probably not in a good position. And as you grew up and you learned you didn't have to be afraid of them anymore, like you may see them in a weaker position, or also though you can see like, oh, like that little kid, like it wasn't right what they did, but their parents were abusing them, or like looking back on their situation, I can see how bad it was, and I can understand why that kid did that. It doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it that it was like correct that it happened to you, or that you needed to have that experience, or that you deserved it. But you seem to be able to have like a perspective on this, where you realize now that you are in a power position. And maybe just like when you see 999, just remember like that's over. And you know what, 999 is endings. Like, you know, okay, that's 3 9s is 27, which 2 + 7 is 9. So yeah, this is 9 is in numerology is ending. Like my life path number is 9, and 9 has sort of the understanding and the knowledge of all the other numbers, because it's the last one, it's the last single digit. And it's sort of like a Pisces energy, because Pisces is the last sign. So Pisces has the lessons of all the other astrological signs, and 9 has the lesson of all the other numbers. So this is really showing like you have come really far, and that you are powerful, and like you've learned a lot. And I think if you see that, maybe just like it should be like a pat on the back, like, hey, like you've learned so much, and you have come so far, and like I really feel like there's a message to be like that is never going to happen to you again. Like that's not something you need to be afraid of or worry about. And I don't think you are. I just think maybe it's a nice thing for you to see, to be like, you know what, I got through that, or like, yeah, that's over. Or like maybe even when you see it, just to know like you are powerful, and like you could also be responsible for ending like generational issues in your family, like choosing not to partake in things, choosing not to continue certain types of abuse, or certain personality things, like certain behaviors. There's a cycle that I feel like you're breaking or have broken. Okay, that took me a while to figure out. Sorry. I was like, because I'm not gonna freaking tell you like your angel number means you're about to get like popped or something. That's not like how this works. You know, it's very fearful. Okay, what was your second one? 666. It's my favorite. I have 666 on my arm in Roman numerals. Can you see in my hairy armpit? Bleh, you can't see it. DCLXVI. Pay attention. Talking heads. Pay attention. I'm talking to you, and hope you're concentrating. Important. I've got money now. Okay. That song Warning Sign. Again, I was talking about Warning Sign by Talking Heads. Okay, when you see the number 666, it is getting you to pay attention. Something important's going on. Something important's happening. Something important's gonna happen. This is like, hey, wake up, look around, because you could get an opportunity. Pay attention. What were you just thinking about? Like, okay, what was I just thinking about? What were, like, maybe you were daydreaming about something. You're like, you know what? I always wanted to have a bagel shop. And you see 666. It's like, hey, pay attention to that bagel shop dream you have. Or maybe you see it and you're like, okay, I was just thinking about like tofu and nothing important, so I was just thinking about buying tofu from the grocery store. So maybe you could just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna make sure I don't forget tofu, or I'm gonna make sure I go to the grocery store. And then you go and you're the millionth customer and you win $1 million. Or like, you're like, I have no idea what that can mean. And then something happens that day that is important, that's somehow unrelated. Let me see if there's any other message with that. What could the 666 mean? What do they need to pay attention to? Everything fell in reverse, and sometimes I feel like that means I should just flip it over, because I don't really normally take reversals and it just feels kind of weird. I feel like, yeah, if you're seeing 666, it means that there could be an important opportunity coming, or something you may need to act on soon. I think it means you'll be presented with maybe an option or a choice, or when you see that number, I think it means to be aware that something is coming up that you maybe could choose to partake in. This looks specifically related to business, so this could have to do with you expressing yourself, like expressing your ideas. If you are seeing 666, it could be saying just in general, if you don't suddenly have like an unrelated important thing happen, or like a epiphany thought, this is saying that you need to make like a concerted effort to stand in your power more, that you need to take ownership of like, yeah, the status you have in some way, or like the abilities you have, or like if you have a talent. It's saying that like you need to take that more seriously in some way. You may need to start identifying more with something that you do, or like, I don't know, this is, to me, it's really saying like you need to put more courage into yourself. You need to take more chances, possibly, because we have the Lovers, which is about making a choice. It is about love also, but in this regard, since we're not talking about romance, this would have to do with making a decision or an important contract. The King of Wands is saying like this is you expressing yourself in like a fiery way, in a very creative way. The King of Wands just like says stuff and just does stuff. Like he can be called like the redneck. Like he's just sort of like wild and just is like, it doesn't matter, like he isn't held to limitations or like tradition. He's just going to do whatever he wants to do. Like he's going to pave his own way through life. And of course, it doesn't matter like what your gender is, like this is all gender neutral. Strength is you really like approaching things that, because she's like, you know, ripping that lion's mouth open, which is a pretty different strength card than a lot of other strength cards, because usually she's just like hugging the lion, and this lady's like ripping his mouth apart. Not that bad, it's not that bad, but this is you like really tackling, I think, like a creative insight you have, because the lion is Leo energy, which is fire. The King of Wands is fire energy. The strength card is Leo. So I think this is like, you need to like maybe take action on something, on an idea you've had, or like a creative expression, or to just, it doesn't even have to be like art. It just means like something you want to do that's different than what other people do. And then with the Nine of Pentacles, it's saying like this is something you could really make your own. This is something that you could really like be an expert in, especially with the King and 2 major arcana here. So in general, I just feel like if you see 666, sorry, just pay attention to what you were thinking about. Pay attention to maybe some goals you've been having, and then maybe just in general look around you, pay attention to what happens that day, see if something is really inspiring you. It just means like check in with yourself. Is there something that wants to pop up and get your attention that maybe you're not acknowledging? It could also mean maybe something has been going on or has been trying to come to you and you haven't noticed it yet. Okay, so your last one was 555. Let's see. Oh, opportunity and message. Well, that goes really well with 666. So yeah, if you're seeing 555, then that is going to tell you that there is an opportunity around, or opportunity is about to come in. This is either you're going to get a message about something, no matter what it is. Like it may not be a direct offer to you of some kind, but in some way there could be opportunity through that, no matter how big or small. It also means that there are more opportunities around you. In general, right now, it looks like the tarot and everything is saying that like you've gotten through a lot of difficult things. With 999, you know, you're seeing the bigger picture of maybe some trauma you've been through or some abuse you've been subjected to. You've been able to really like heal and move past all of those things, and you're really entering like a level of self-mastery now. And with 666 is encouraging you to like really take a creative path. Also 666 breaks down to 9 because 3 6s is 18 and 1 + 8 is 9. So, and 666 is like the like unruly number, you know, that's the one that everyone sees as like the scary, the only bad number. Numbers can't be bad, just a fucking number. But it is like the unconventional, you know, the devil, doing something like off the beaten path, being unusual, doing something creative. So it looks like there is this message saying that like you've built up a lot of momentum, you are in a good place, and there are opportunities for you to express yourself, to go forward with some type of idea. Let's see if there's anything else specific about 555. Death, the 4 of Wands, and the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, so I would say very specifically too, like soon, it could be like, I mean, maybe even in the next few weeks or like 2 weeks, but in like the near future, it looks like there is an opportunity coming up for you to like transform a situation. If you've been ready to like leave some things in your past, like a job, or if you really are trying to maybe you don't feel like you really have left these traumatic things or difficult things from your past behind, that is what's happening. Like you are ending those cycles now. You are stepping out of like the routine you've been in, and you're going through a transformation. You've been letting things die off. You've probably experienced a lot of endings like the last few years, and you've been trying to like see things from a fair perspective, to step out of victim mentality, to take responsibility, and you're putting yourself in a really like good place where you are in a place now where it's time for you to take action and for you to pay attention around you for like what type of opportunities are there, like what's being said, what's being talked about, what's popping up in your mind a lot, like what are you subconsciously attracted to, what is it that you really want to express. Because then we have the 4 of Wands and the 8 of Pentacles. So it looks like you really could have just like a nice new opportunity related to like work and career, or expressing yourself in some way. Like music, I was gonna say like musician, like musician. Like music, or like poetry, or paintings, or like screen printing, or it could just be like a creative way of doing something. Like even if you do data analysis, maybe you have like a way in which you like learn information, or the way that you break down information. There's something that you do that is different from others, and it has to do with like the life experiences you've had, and so you're being rewarded, and there's just going to be doors opening and paths opening for you, and it's time for you just to pay attention so that you will take those opportunities. It looks like you'll have a bunch of them. There's not going to be just like one door opening and that you have to make sure you see and get through. So don't freak out if you see these numbers and you're like, oh my God, like nothing happened. It's just saying that like, just to pay attention to maybe like be in a more manifesting mindset of opportunity, and being like, you know what, I am going to do this, or like having faith in yourself, and to take time to work on your dreams and like feed them, like believe in yourself, and step out of like feeling like maybe you still have to take control or maintain some negative things from your past. You've learned, you know what you need to know. There aren't any more lessons from those experiences, and now you're like a new person, and you're not going to repeat those things. That's not going to happen to you again. It's time for you to go forward and like take opportunity, take chances, and see what doors are opening for you. Because it looks like there's a bunch of things. Like, I don't think it's going to be just like I mean, there could be like a huge thing that happens, but just pay attention. Like little things are going to open, and like more and more paths can open for you, more and more opportunities. So that's a really good message. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want a private reading, I give private readings, and I sell art and pens and other stuff, and I'm on Instagram. So all that stuff is in the bio. Okay, bye. Hello everyone who picked pile 4. If you picked this obsidian orb, it's one of my favorite things ever. First off, if you picked this obsidian obsidian. I made up a new word just now. Obsidian is for protection, and it also draws negativity out of you, out of your situation, out of your home. Basically, wherever you have it or take it, it absorbs negativity and sort of filters it out. And it can be really grounding if you are feeling detached or caught up in your head a lot. It really helps connect you to the earth. Because black is the color of our earth seed chakra, which is the chakra that's in the earth, and because it's a rock, it comes from earth. Actually, like, it's a volcanic glass, right? And that comes from deep in the earth. Okay, so I have your 3 angel numbers here, and then I'm going to pick out some descriptive information about each one, and then if I need more information, I will pull some tarot cards. All right, you got 3 for the first one, 2, and then those 2. Okay, so let's see, what's your first angel number? 1414. That's a really unique one. I don't feel like that one is, you don't see that one very frequently. Oh, 1212. So you're having some higher numbers. And what's your last one? Is this it? Or is that the message? Nope. 1313. Interesting. I shuffled these really well, I promise. I promise I did. So 1212, 1414, 1212, and 1313. I always think of 1313 Mockingbird Lane from the Munsters is their address. So 1414 for you. Let's talk about that first. Leap of faith. Dead relative. Stop and think. Okay, interesting. Well, first of all, if you're going to see 1414, it's probably going to be a message from a passed on loved one. Let's see if I can get an idea of who. A dead relative could be contacting them. Queen of Pentacles, so it could be a mother or it could be grandmother, some type of female matriarch person in your family. The Queen of Pentacles is definitely like the mother card or the grandmother. It's not much of like an aunt really. And then Judgment. Oh, this is great because this is like rising from the dead. These are dead people. This is Judgment. So this is whenever Gabriel toots the horn and all the dead people pop out of their graves. So yeah, this would be probably a dead grandmother, which I was sort of thinking, but I should have said it first before I grabbed the cards so you wouldn't think I'm lying. Hopefully you don't think I'm lying. I can't think that much to lie. I can't keep up with it. I've never lied. Anyway, this is getting uncomfortable. The Queen of Pentacles and Judgment. So this would be coming from if your grandma's not dead or your mom's not dead, good, that's awesome. Then this would be coming from someone who you don't know further back in your family. This would be someone who is like a reliable female energy, a reliable well, I mean, I guess it could be a man if you had a male figure in your life past who was like very maternal to you or was very caretaking of you. So I mean, I would think it's going to be a grandma mostly, but it could be a masculine figure if that masculine person was very like was like your caretaker, if they took on a more maternal role. And it doesn't have to do with like female versus male. It has to do with the energy of the Queen of Pentacles, because the card is motherhood basically. She's similar to the Empress. It's a very grounded energy. She's very practical, and that relates to stop and think, because the Queen of Pentacles is a very slow energy. She doesn't rush to make decisions. She really like takes everything into account, like her family and what's going on around her, her business, her own personal health. And leap of faith. That's what's interesting, because it's saying stop and think and then take a leap of faith. So what do you mean by that, dead relative? What are you saying to them? Maybe you want them to stop and think and take a leap of faith. So what does that mean for 1414? Queen of Wands in reverse, the Fool, Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, so you have been doing something the same way over and over again. The Queen of Swords is saying that, like, in reverse, you may not be thinking very clearly. Instead of seeing like opportunity or seeing people's like intentions in a very clear, like detached way, instead of being like, well, whatever they're doing is about them, it's not about me. You could be seeing things where you really feel like everyone's against you, or you're taking things very personally because like you're struggling with something. There's something that like you haven't healed from, like maybe someone was mean to you and you weren't able to like resolve that situation with that person. So now you're very hypersensitive to people possibly being mean to you, and you could be like almost having that mentality, looking for it, essentially, like looking for trouble in a way. And then with the Queen of Wands in reverse, it means that like you could be holding back, like you could be holding back some type of expression because of anger. Like you could feel like maybe people around you don't really like deserve to see a softer side of you, or like maybe if you're a boss of some kind, you could feel like maybe like the people that you work with, or like I don't know, in general, you could feel like somehow people you're around don't really understand you or see you, and you could feel like sort of better than them in a way, which isn't a drag. Like everyone does that. Like literally we all feel better than other people at sometimes. Like if I see Republicans saying stupid shit, I'm like, huh, I'm a genius, you're an idiot, you know, like we all do that. It's okay. These angel numbers are here just to make you think about things. Also, this could be saying, like, this is specific, but if like maybe like your grandma was the one holding the family together, like she was the peacekeeper, and there were like two aunts you have, or like your mom and a sister, or your mom and like a sister-in-law, or like your grandma's sisters who have like really negative personalities or negative patterns. So it could be that one is very quick to anger and is very defensive, and the other is maybe more of a gossip and like more like subconsciously like working against people, and that you need to be aware of like those traits being around you, or that like you maybe have the possibility to like act that way due to like some old wounds. And then the Fool is literally the leap of faith, which is cool that came out together. That this is, and I'll show you, I don't know if I showed you leap of faith, but I feel self-conscious. I feel like a little kindergartner, like holding up something to the class. I don't know why. I think it's like, because I'm like, like, look at my hand. I don't know, it feels really weird. It just makes me feel really uncomfortable. But taking a leap of faith. So there is something you've probably been doing, like maybe there's like a habit you have, or the way you've been seeing things. You need to step out of that behavior. You need to take some type of leap of faith into probably like optimism, and also like stopping and thinking. Maybe be aware, like when you are getting mad, I feel like a lot of this is like that person, like I know what their intention is toward me, I know what they're saying about me, and maybe that like you are building up things that aren't really happening, like sort of blowing this balloon up with all these like, yeah, it's kind of like that. It's like, let's say like your thoughts are like, people are against me, everyone hates me, or things. I think that all the time, like everybody hates me. So it's okay. But it's like people think I'm stupid, or like, you know, I'm miserable here, and like, fuck all these people. That could be like, if you're thinking like, I know Tanya is talking shit about me, and I know she doesn't like me, and I know she's just like doing this to be a bitch to me, like all of this sort of almost victim thoughts could be like sort of filling this bubble, and that's taking up your reality. Whereas like no matter what, like even me, I'm a psychic, you don't know what everyone's thoughts or intentions are, or like, you know, what they really think or feel about you. And it honestly doesn't matter. That's the good thing about not truly knowing what people's thoughts and feelings are, is that like what people's perspective of you really doesn't matter. Like what matters is your own perspective of yourself. And like, yes, you do need to have like some balance in terms of like reality and like what is and isn't acceptable, and like if you are being harmful to people. But this is saying kind of like, be careful that you're not like shooting yourself in the foot. Be careful that you're not like sabotaging friendships and things because you have a hard time seeing things like in a critical eye, like, and in a detached way. This would be like, you know what, that's their, whatever is going on is about them, and like not taking things personally. And then the Queen of Wands just like does whatever she wants. She's just like, I don't really care. I'm not afraid to express myself. Like, I'm like crazy, sexy, cool. Like, she's like the sexy queen. Like, you could be like feeling like you can't be those things because of people around you. This would make me think of my nanny, who was my grandma. We called her Nanny, my dad's mom. Gaynell was her name, Gaynell. And her as a dead spirit, or her as a spirit world person, I'm sorry, I can't talk. Her is the spirit world. My dead nanny is the universe. My dead nanny grandma. Oh my God. What is going on? Okay, I'm having a nervous breakdown. Okay. My dead grandma is a very like, in the spirit world, she's very like, girl, like, let your freak flag fly. Like, she really likes that I'm weird, and like she will like go around and like look at my stuff, and like she looks at things that like I kept from her, and like she loves to just see it. Like, she loves to see, she was a Sagittarius, she loves like weirdos and like weird people and like uniqueness. And there are a lot of energies in my own personal life of women who are like in my family, like going very far back, of women who like were cruel and paranoid and spread gossip, or like really relied on their anger. And so like I could even apply this message to myself, and that's what I'm trying to like convey back, is that like this dead relative could really be saying like, hey, you should break out of like this shell, or like these walls you see around yourself, these false beliefs, and like stop and think about like maybe how you're acting, or like what you're believing, and take a leap of faith out of that. Because this really is like, she just does whatever she wants. And then the Fool is like, it doesn't really matter what's happening, he's just gonna go, he's just going for it. Okay, sorry, I talked a long time for that. It was just like a really unique message. Okay, for 12/12. Oh, interesting. Okay, you actually got an extra angel number, but they both mean the same thing. Your other angel number is your birthday. So your birthday, mine's January 17th. So anytime I see 117, I always think of me. I think of myself. So your birthday is an angel number too, just numerically. And if your birthday is December 12th, then that would be super spooky. I mean, I guess like if like a billion people saw this, someone probably would have that birthday. But so this means change is happening, to be open to some kind of change happening. Let's see. I'm gonna get another one actually. Change and premonition. Interesting. Tell me more. Y'all, I'm getting hot. It's getting hot in here. I left my fan on too, and I don't know like what is making me so steamy. King of Swords and strength. Yeah, I think this is, first of all, it is definitely saying like you do have like a good ability to perceive, to see into things, because with the Queen of Swords in reverse, and now we have the King of Swords upright, the Queen of Swords in reverse is that sort of like paranoid, like what are people saying about me? The King of Swords doesn't care what people are saying about him, because it doesn't matter, because he knows the truth, he accepts the truth, and he really doesn't worry about if people are lying to him or what they're saying, because he just like knows what's what. And strength is really like relying on that. It's having this really strong inner knowing. So I almost feel like this is saying that you need to, the Hierophant and the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I kind of think maybe you are having premonitions, and you need to start paying more attention to insights you're having, or like dreams you're having. And one of the change could be related to like your psychic gifts changing. Let me get a little bit more about this. King of Swords and Strength. You may be also like knowing that there is a big change coming for you, and this would be related to like a new lifestyle. This would be like committing yourself to something, definitely committing yourself. So because the Hierophant is commitment for sure, like tradition. This is a pope basically. So this is like a long-standing tradition. This is sort of going along with something in a way, so like an institution of some kind. The Ace of Pentacles is like a very sturdy, solid like option or beginning or foundation. Strength is also a very solid like energy. So there is this like, it's interesting that it's saying change, because a lot of these cards are about things that are standing the test of time. What's changing then? Okay, I really do just think, okay, I think this is just saying that like you need to have, you need to realize that like you are going to have like a major change in your life that has to do with like your lifestyle or your career or your like job or your home or your belief system. And it's going to be different forever after this. Like there is like a major, like, I forgot what the, like BC, is it AC? Don't know what's happening. You'll have basically like a defining moment where there was your life before and your life after. And it goes along too with sort of the 1414 message of leap of faith. So it does look like there is something coming for you, and you may start to get premonitions about it. You may start to just like you're starting to see little glimpses of it, that it is becoming a reality of some kind. The Five of Wands, and fives are about change, and this could be about opposition or something. So I would think like if you are trying to stand out in like your field in terms of work, this definitely shows like you standing out above others, you getting an opportunity that other people are not getting, you winning in some way. You already, this is something that's sort of like destined. This is something that's already a part of your life that you're going to have. So I think that's something, it's just like a reminder when you see 1212, is that there is like a dream coming true for you. There is a change happening, that there are long-term things coming into your life, that that it's going to be time for you to take this leap of faith coming up. And just, yeah, if you see your birthday or 12/12/12, just realize that, and maybe pay attention like what is changing, or look back like how much has changed, or like do I need to change something. And it could also just be like the change within yourself, like becoming more aware of being psychic, and like being aware of like what you see coming in. Yeah, with the Knight of Swords, this will come in really quick and suddenly. And the Knight of Swords is sort of like an emotionless thing. So like it could be just like a message from like a business, or like something that comes across robotic, but it is actually like an opportunity. This could be you being invited to compete for something, and you end up winning in some way, or still gaining a lot of opportunity, even if you don't like beat everyone necessarily. Even though this energy does say like you would beat everyone, even if it's not about like winning, it shows you standing out in some way. Let's see what the other message is with the rest of with the last number, with 1313. Resistance and hope. So yeah, I think maybe you don't think that there is a possibility of change coming into your life. Maybe you don't think that you are going to stand out in some way. Maybe you feel like there are too many things working against you, like with the 1414 energy. Like maybe you just see yourself at odds with other people, and the reality is that you do have opportunity, and that there could be like more opportunities and more changes coming for you than you realize. And when you see like your birthday or 12/12/12 to realize that. And then with 13/13, this could be like to maybe check in with your mentality, because if you think 13 is considered like a bad luck number usually, so you may be, it could just be talking about you being in like a really downer mentality, and then that causing resistance to hope, like your thoughts playing a pretty big place in your like manifesting your reality. 13 is also considered like the feminine number, and so that would be like a number about creation, creating things. And 13 is death in tarot. So yeah, there is a big opportunity for you to change the way things are. There is an opportunity for you now to change your life in ways, for you to take a leap of faith, to stop and think about what's going on in your life, the way things have been going. What is it that you really want in the future? Because it looks like you do really have opportunity to have a future you want, and to stand out in some way, to get opportunity and to move up in some type of field, or in terms of like maybe even teaching, because there's a lot of teacher cards here, the Hierophant and the swords, the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords. Strength also can be about teaching or like guiding people, leadership. It looks like you do, like you're meant to be in some type of leadership position, and I think you need to maybe see that like the people you feel intimidated about aren't your boss, and they aren't in charge of you, or like, I mean, it could be your boss, but like they're not the boss of like your world, or like they're not the king of the world or anything, you know. And seeing that like you do have power outside of that, and a lot of your power comes from being very clear and like being able to step out of your emotions and maybe detach from them at times could be beneficial for you. Like if you really are getting plagued by just like, oh my god, everyone hates me, just to step out and be like, you know what, if they do hate me, it really doesn't fucking matter. Like honestly, what does it matter? Like RuPaul says, even though problematic, I guess, but what people think about me is none of my business. And that's the truth. Like it really doesn't matter what people think about you, because the only way it affects your reality is whenever you let it affect your reality. Your reality is what you choose to believe, and like if you're taking in other people's beliefs about you, it will change your perspective, and they don't know you the way you know yourself. You know yourself better. So there is a lot of message about like you have this inner power. And with 13/13, I think maybe if you do see that, pay attention and be like, okay, have I been really negative? Have I been pushing away feelings of hope? And also see it as a sign of hope. If maybe you haven't been pushing away, or you haven't been resisting, if you see 13/13, be like, yeah, I have hope, that there is hope, that things are changing, and accept it as like instead of it being a bad luck thing, see it as a positive thing, and be like, yeah, when I see 13/13, or if I see 13 even, it means that like, yeah, there's change coming into my life, and that I'm ready for this, and that like the things I hope for are reality, because 12/12 and your birthday are saying that like there is a change happening, like basically no matter what, like your future is going to involve these like leaps into leadership and guiding people and having probably a lot of prosperity through that. And honestly, it does look like your path could involve like maybe upsetting people at times, like being an unusual person, or maybe you have things to say that aren't things that people really like to hear or believe. Maybe you do want to be involved in work that is kind of challenging. It's saying not to like be afraid of that, and like to push through it, because ultimately like whoever like tries to like throw tomatoes at you, or like whatever the critiques are, they aren't really going to like touch you in a way. You're going to be separated from them enough. It like you may be able to get to a point where you just don't even like hear those things or pay attention to them. And if you do make an effort to like stop worrying about what people think, it will affect you less and less and less, and you could probably just totally even forget to even worry about those things. There's a lot of messages here to say like to put yourself first, put your ideas first, and to just let other people, you know, do their own thing. Don't invest a lot of your time thinking about them, because it could be really taking away your power and your feelings of power and your creativity. You could be keeping yourself from creating things or expressing yourself or speaking up because you're afraid of backlash, or because you just know like you just know it's going to make someone mad and like it's frustrating to you. Well, like, you know, fuck them. It doesn't, like, who gives a shit? You know, like, they don't have to look at the things you're doing. Like, other people choose to talk or to gossip or to dwell on what other people are doing, and you can be doing that too if you're worried so much about what other people say. Like, pull your energy back into yourself and like focus on like the opportunities you have, the opportunities that you know are coming, the changes that are coming, and see that there's hope and that you may be kind of resistant to it. So yeah, your numbers are 14, 14, 12, 12, 13, 13. I hope you got all that. I hope it helped. And if you want a personal reading, I give personal readings and I sell art and I'm on Instagram and I do other stuff. And all of that is in the bio if you're interested. And I hope this helped you. And, you know, have a great day.